You need to understand there's two types of anger, firstly. So if we're looking at anger, there's two types. There's the type that comes when others actually treat you badly. Right? And this usually occurs during our childhood. And it usually is not able to be expressed. Most of the time because our parents do not want it to be expressed. If you think about it, even if you've been a parent, if your child has ever gotten angry with you or frustrated, what you've done to them in order to suppress their anger, usually we do have quite strong response, don't we, to our child's anger. And most of us, when we were children, had our parents respond in the same way, in the sense that we had this response of them wanting to shut down our anger and telling us that our anger was inappropriate, and most of us weren't allowed to experience it at the time. Now, unfortunately in our childhood, a lot of the anger that we were expressing was the result of being treated unlovingly and having a feeling inside of ourselves that we were treated unlovingly. Or, so there were two primary causes. One was that there was an unloving cause where we were unlovingly treated. The other one was that we were just having a tantrum. In other words, that we were not getting what we wanted. And we learnt to use anger as a method of getting what we wanted. So how many of you learnt to use anger as a method to get what you want when you were little? Can you remember doing that? Many of us don't remember doing that, actually. It's interesting. However, that is the main one we use as an adult as well. So I want to put an R in there for some reason. I don't know why that is, but... So in other words, a tantrum is the result of us not getting what we want. So when we look at anger, when we're trying to work our way through anger, the question we've really got to ask ourselves is this kind of an anger like a childlike kind of an anger, or is this the kind of anger that we're just expressing because we're not getting what we want? Now, for the majority of us, it's the kind of anger we're expressing because we're not getting what we want. In other words, we've learnt that when we don't get what we want, we just get angry. And usually the people around us generally conform when we are angry with them. They will generally be afraid of our anger, and as a result, we'll end up getting at least some of what we wanted. Excuse me. Now, on the divine way to God, on the, what you call the divine love path, we are often in this phase with God. Many of us are in this phase with God right now because we do not want to feel. That's the main reason why we're like that. So to be really sincere about anger and what's going on inside of you with regard to anger, you're going to have to work out whether you're angry because you're just not getting what you want, or whether it's actually a childhood thing that happened to you that was unloving that you're getting angry about now. Does that make sense? Now, usually, if it's a childhood thing that was unloving that you're now getting angry about, very rapidly you'll get into the sadness of it. Because it's the unloving feeling that the anger is covering that gets exposed quite rapidly. But if you are just having a tantrum and it's just you're not getting what you want, you can go on like that for years. Expressing rage, just having a tantrum, expressing rage, having a tantrum, and actually get nowhere with your soul at all. Because you're not looking at what you want. You're not looking at feeling the addiction. You don't want to feel that the addiction is actually something that's out of harmony with love. And you need to determine the difference.